Welcome back to my channel, Sagittarius. Much love and thanks out to my existing subscribers and all those that are new to my channel. Welcome. I always appreciate your support and your time. So these are just quick reminders on the general readings. Can't possibly speak to everybody. You're all at different stages of your life, unique situations. So there's going to be variances on the time. So again, you won't all be sharing the same life story. So please allow for flexibility on the time frame. So again, for Sagittarius, career, money, finance, March 1st to March 14, 2021. So the decks I'll be using is the Energy Oracle cards, and that's by Sandra Ann Taylor, and the Rider-Waite deck. So the first card out speaks to a journey. So I did pull quite a few clarifiers because there was a little bit of confusion for me initially when I was going through this, because it seemed like it almost became a bit of a love reading at first, and I don't generally do those, but again, a lot of times our finances are tied to those that we are connected with romantically. So what I'm going to say is I did feel that this does relate on, a broader perspective now as I went through the cards. I pre-pulled just because the cards tend to be my readings will go a little bit longer if I don't do it this way. So first card out speaks to a journey. So that more generally, that card speaks to a move or a relocation or a work-related trip. But when I further clarified, the next card out was actually, I have pulled the Rider-Waite deck to follow, but I just wanted to show you that I also pulled the community card. So I just wanted further clarification with that journey card, but the community card came out in the same oracle deck as well as a follow-up to clarify for that journey card. So I suspect this is more of a personal event to see someone, or there's some kind of a celebration or a work-related issue that, or not issue, but a work-related event that does allow for, more than one person to be there. There might be just a small group of people that you're meeting up with. But either way, you might be tagging along a friend or a family member, or, someone that you've got a long-standing relationship with, or, as I say, a personal partner of some sort that you're trying to make maybe a holiday out of this work-related trip. I mean, it could be any of these scenarios, but either way, it just feels that on the other end of it, you're going to be making some kind of event out of it. So whether that's a small celebration or a small gathering, if that is authorized in your area. I know there's some restrictions globally here, but either way, it just feels like you want to celebrate. So again, with that community card as part of the clarifier for the journey, I just feel like there's kind of a duplicity here between work and play. So again, the journey card with the Rider-Waite deck clarifying shows that we've got the Seven of Wands. So that strongly feels like some kind of deep soul searching or healing that's going on in that first in the first 2 weeks of March anyway. And again, it's March 1st to the 14th. So something that you're really trying to wrap your head around with the 7. It might be that you're feeling a strong sense of loss or unhappiness. Maybe there's regret about something that you were trying to renew, restore, rebuild, whatever that is for you. But whatever this is, it seems to be around a long-term commitment. And that is, of course, followed after the Five of Pentacles, where I was speaking to the loss and certainly feeling like there might be some kind of regret with the Four of Cups here as well coming through. And then we've got the Page of Pentacles. So I did pull, it's a little bit out of order here, but we did have, I'm just going to put the Hierophant in there as well, as I said, because I felt like it was around some kind of a long-term commitment. For some of you, maybe it is an actual marriage situation where you're both invested in a business, or, you're both, you're thinking of going on some kind of smaller trip. It doesn't have to be global, worldwide, but just thinking of something along that line, which might be tied to a business proposition or opportunity as well. But again, feels like a long-term commitment with the Hierophant. So it could also refer to a corporation or a big business or a government-related situation that requires travel for a job as well. But again, for most of you, I feel this is really around a deep, long-standing partnership or connection or alliance of some sort, that you might be going through some challenging times with. So again, partnership in business, whatever that is, this challenging time could also speak to, for those that are looking for employment, maybe employment in your field is dried up, or work that you've lost interest in, is part of that challenge. But it just feels like there's some overall stagnancy. And also, as I say, with the boredom, that could also be coming through, boredom cards with the Four of Cups and the Five of Pentacles previously, to me, it just feels like there's some degree of inertia or, stagnancy. And as well, there's also the cards of the Hermit coming through. So it feels like there's a lot of introspection. There's a lot of, like I said, soul searching or trying to figure out the answer. Maybe you're trying to figure out what type of work to get into, or how do you heal a partnership, and you're trying to figure out new ways to drum up business, in considering options, things along that line. But either way, as we go further along in the cards here, you'll see that there is the Hanged Man. So there's some kind of a crossroads. There's just some overall challenge here in this first 2 weeks of March. So, there is a need for a change in perspective here, but I'll get back to the Page of Pentacles, because I do feel there's going to be some growth, and again, as I said, opportunity coming through here. But with the Hanged Man, as I said, I felt like you're at some kind of a crossroads with something that you're trying to either reprioritize, and for some reason that word kept coming through for me, so I feel a lot of you are trying to, reprioritize from doing maybe you're maybe doing some kind of career change here altogether, but you're reprioritizing, you're looking at your values, you want it to be something that's more in line with what you value and what you believe, what's important to you, and just to simply try to change direction by taking a trip, wouldn't necessarily seem like it would be the answer for all. But I think in your case, it is some kind of retreat that you need to get these answers, because you are doing introspection, as I said, with the Hermit energy prior to this. But either way, by the end of this trip, I did see some delays coming through here, because following these three cards here too, we also have the Three of Wands. But either way, at the end of the trip, you're going to see that there's some kind of victory. You do come to some kind of resolution. So again, I do feel there's some growth coming through here, as I said, with the Page of Pentacles, and it does feel like there's some kind of an opportunity for those that are looking for work. And, with the Six of Swords and I feel that you're trying to find some kind of a solution here, again, with that Hanged Man energy as well. And then we've of course got the Three of Wands. So for those where a significant partnership, waned with so many cards, as I said, with the Four of Cups and that stagnancy with the Hanged Man and the Hermit and all of the Five of Pentacles, all of that, it just feels like there was a low period or a feeling of lack, and that with that Page of Pentacles, to me, again, it brings in the attention to a new level of growth and some sense of, restored understanding because of this journey. And again, the journey I also felt was coming through there, not just with that initial card of journey, but also with that Six of Swords card here. But anyway, that holiday is going to be fairly significant for you. So the community card follows. But I also wanted just to reiterate with that Three of Wands, it feels like even though you're considering some kind of a trip or holiday or work-related event or holiday, whatever, as they say, but it does feel like there's a delay on it. So there's a bit of a pause here, not only just with the Three of Wands, but also with that Hanged Man card. There's a pause, there's a delay. So you might be considering this right now in the first 2 weeks, but it may play out further into end of March or further out into April. But things are all oriented around this trip. as to where these victories and these resolutions are coming through. So the community card looks to be a happy card. It involves some kind of event or celebration or teamwork of sorts. As I say, maybe it's a celebration of a birthday. You're headed out somewhere, that's a little further out of town, but not, across the globe. But whatever that is for you, there's some kind of a small gathering, I feel, that's permitted here. Or again, for some of you, it could be just that you feel like you're being embraced by a group again, that you may have fallen out of favor with, or you're just feeling more celebratory, once you take this holiday. That's followed up with the Lovers. So the Lovers, and further clarified with the Five of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. So to me, and I should mention, following all of that as well, we've also got the Ace of Wands. But the reason why I just wanted to show you those pairings is because it does feel that, with that combination, to me, it feels like some of you want to be trying to get away, to have some intimate time with a counterpart, or somebody you're fairly close to romantically, or however, just to rekindle a spark, because again, it feels like it's a long-term relationship. So further out, there was actually the Ten of Pentacles in here too, which, just to give you a glance, and again, they are all clarifiers. So it feels like it was once a situation where things were, really fruitful and abundant, or, at least quite happy for you. And certainly, there was a real strong connection there. It was quite a beautiful connection, but somewhere along the line, something has, run amiss here. And I just feel that you want to, work on reigniting the passion, or consider some kind of new start here with the Ace of Wands that follows this card. Because again, there is some challenge here with the Five of Wands. But there is a reciprocal giving, sharing energy that comes through with the Six of Pentacles. And again, you're retreating and going on some kind of a holiday with that Four of Swords. But it just feels, like I said, that there is some need for a new beginning, or there's a desire for a new beginning to bring it back to this state of the Ten of Pentacles. So again, for others of you that aren't, more romantically inclined and having your finances, as I say, tied in with your relationship, it could be, as I say, on the work front here. So this could be, a work-related trip with a partner where there's some significant deal that's going through. And I do feel there will be a valuable opportunity, that amounts or results from this journey, this trip, this holiday, whatever it is. So it is feeling like it's leading to some kind of significant long-term financial benefit with that Ten of Pentacles. So it could be, something that you're really inspired to do after a period of stagnancy, as I said. So again, with the card of Victory coming up here as well. And I should just quickly mention again, back to that Ace of Wands, I feel that could also be a passion project, or something that you're just really excited about, that you want to be able to put forward and talk to somebody here about. But either way, with the Victory card, again, we've got some kind of a delay with the Hangman, the Three of Wands. At the very least, there are thoughts around what is intended and with whom, on this trip out. But with the next card out being the Victory card, and again, this card is also followed by the Door to Romance. So again, to me, this speaks to some kind of a renewal of a connection for a lot of you romantically, or again, otherwise in terms of an entrepreneurial venture. Could be just a passion project, but it is going to be something to your advantage to take this trip. And for others on the work front, you do have a renewed sense of enjoyment in what you do with that Ten of Pentacles, as well as the Ace of Wands. And of course, further out, you'll see that there is the Ace of Cups coming through as well. So I just feel that there is an opportunity either way on the work front, period. Even if you're romantically entangled in some way, I still feel like it's somehow around a work-related issue that will provide an opportunity either way. So despite all of that, I feel it speaks to all three of you, all three groupings there, that there is going to be some kind of a renewed sense of enjoyment in whatever you do here, and there is an opportunity at the outset of this holiday or this trip. So again, either way, it's some degree of a long-standing commitment to a project, career, business, or a person that you're trying to revitalize or rejuvenate in some way. Again, it could speak to a business being challenged with that Five of Wands, where there wasn't enough to sustain things, with the Four of Cups and Five of Pentacles, or across the board in terms of work. This type of work that you do may be lacking in interest, or there just may not have been enough supply. If it speaks to an occupation that you've held for some time, it just seems to be picking up and you're feeling better about it. In that, if not in that first 2 weeks of March, certainly the results of it after that trip will show through. So again, just repeats here on the rest and rejuvenation. So, again, with the Page of Pentacles, just in looking back here, there's practical progress that's being made because there's a lot of Pentacles that's coming through in this reading as well. I do feel for those that do take this opportunity, there's some learning involved with that opportunity that shows up through, again, travel for work, or, for those that are looking for employment. And for others, it's, a work-related trip that might be, entangled with that holiday issue / romantic trip. But again, it's followed up by that rest and retreat card with the rejuvenation card and the Archangel Metatron, and this really is you tapping into your third eye and your spirit to capture a clearer picture of where you're headed. So you're really trying to find or arrive at some kind of a solution here. Spirit is indicating that you need to consider alternative options to whatever it is that you're trying to achieve here, because followed up by adjacent possibilities, it looks like you might need to modify or change or angle something a little bit differently to be able to bring about the answer or the solution that you need to create a successful union or successful not opportunity, but successful outcome for that opportunity. But anyway, maybe you just need a new approach, different marketing strategy, new platform, change your behavior about something. Maybe you just need to seek new training, new skill, whatever that journey is for you. You have to be patient and wait for your answers, which I sense are likely to come your way in this place of calm, where you need to pull back. You need to be patient. And with the clarifiers behind that, well, actually, sorry, these ones aren't the clarifiers. This is the Rider-Waite deck. This is moving into the last, again, this will be the 2 weeks, so it'll be week to week here that I read with the Rider-Waite deck. The Oracle cards were just general energies for the first 2 weeks. So again, I feel that you're trying to arrive at some kind of a solution here. Spirit is helping you to think a little more broadly and do things a little differently than you normally would to be able to come up with some kind of a solution that benefits all parties. So you would just need to be patient, wait for those answers, don't push ahead, because it's going to come once you're in this place of calm. Then that allows you to regroup and bring in some new happiness, which will empower you to bring about more motivation in this new direction. And the happiness came through on several Cups cards there as well. So we've got King of Cups and so on that will come out here too as we go further along. But either way, clarifying more specifically to the career, money, finance, the first 2 weeks there were just the general energies. So this last part, there is some repeats of the same cards with the Oracle. So again, the Rider-Waite deck pretty much confirms that same energy. You've got the Six of Swords, so there's some kind of a trip or journey up ahead here. We also have the Six of Cups. So again, something that's related to your past or a long-standing connection where there may have been some kind of toxicity here with the Devil energy. So whatever that toxicity is for you, I did pull some clarifiers on what that might potentially be for some of you. And it does feel like with the Emperor energy and the Devil and the Five of Pentacles, it feels as though that is, some kind of degree of loss or defeat, but it could be even based around jealousy as well. But as I say, it just feels like there is some kind of defeat or sorrow, possibly regret about something that happened there. But the solution is one of stepping back and reflecting with spiritual guidance to bring about your answers nonetheless. So, the answers of why and how you can move forward. So again, with the Emperor and the Five of Pentacles clarifying that devil energy, it could be that there was someone who was overly dominant in the relationship or the partnership or the friendship, however that speaks to you. And again, jealousy, or one business partner maybe making all the decisions. There might have been some kind of power differential there, without consulting the other. However it resonates for you, something wasn't balanced equally. It could also be that, something could not be built here with the Emperor and that Five of Pentacles. And I just feel that because the Emperor is generally a stable card and does allow for, things to be built, the energy that I'm getting off of it is really just that something could not be built between this partnership, or this business could not be built further because of that Five of Pentacles, because there wasn't enough stability, there wasn't enough money, there wasn't enough, demand for it, or maybe somebody was excessively controlling or inflexible, which did not allow things to expand on some level. And again, with the Five of Pentacles, that can also mirror money troubles as well, further, isolation and financial loss, but tough times period, where things were once stable were unstable with this combination. So with that Knight of Swords, there's just some kind of energy coming in here that there is also following up with the Five of Swords, which to me speaks to some kind of strategy that needs to be made here. I do feel with the Seven of Cups, there's a lot of confusion, in this dynamic of the relationship, partnership, business partnership, something around your finances. There's just a lot of confusion. And there does need to be some kind of, with that Five of Swords, I feel like there needs to be some kind of, maybe a sacrifice of time or energy, or somebody needs to implement some kind of more grounded energy here anyway. And again, it does require a compromise of some sort. And I say that because following the compromise, we, of course, have the Justice card. So, that can speak to a Libra that's figuring prominently in this reading, as well as a Capricorn. Taurus energy seemed to be really strongly in the cards that stood out for me. Pisces also came through there as well. But I feel like some kind of diplomatic approach is required to gain in this situation with that Nine of Cups and the Devil. So someone needs to take responsibility for a truth and communicate that truth. And for others, they're trying to move ahead in this entrepreneurial sense. But I feel where you've been wronged, or there hasn't been balance, in the monies or in the communication, and able to really benefit from any incoming opportunities, you really have to take a diplomatic approach. And again, for that Nine of Cups and that Devil energy to be balanced out. So, the Nine of Cups is where things were, and, to a degree, and then the Devil energy is, obviously where the imbalance is. So you need to have some kind of justice in between to bring about the balance and transform the situation. And there's your Devil energy coming up more than once, so it was pretty significant. But there's the transformation card of the Death card. So something is definitely having to transform. There has to be some kind of truce of some sort here, enable for things to go forward. So you need to include those that were dealing with a partnership, again, with, romantic connection around your finances or whatever that was for you. And again, it could be the business or just tied to finances, but the transformation, the Death card, the renew of that situation, with all that clarity that's coming through with the Swords and the Page of Swords, and the Three of Pentacles. to me, it just really looks like that there is going to be some teamwork here again, because there's a lot more clarity, there's a lot more balance, there's a lot more justice coming through, there's a lot more communication. So things look like they're operating here again with that Three of Pentacles. So again, that's likely showing up in the end of the week, in the end of the first week to the second week of March for a fair number of you. But again, for others of you, it's going to be a little further out. But there is a renewal here. With the Ace of Wands. So there's inspired action here. There's a revitalization of that new beginning with the Ace of Cups, an inspired start. Creative innovation, growth is now where things will start to take off. So again, to me, there's some kind of an opportunity that's come through here, especially with this combination. I feel there's, a reinvigoration of a relationship or a business partnership. Certainly there's an opportunity attached to it, and it's something that you're getting much more excited about. It just feels like, as I say, with that Ace of Cups, this is the golden opportunity. Some great idea with the Ace of Wands shifted you with the Hanged Man to bring about this new start, this new beginning, and there's an offering taking place where all parties seem to be appropriately happy with the result, as it is followed with the Three of Cups. And again, that Three of Cups is really repeating itself here with the community card as well, coming out there initially. So following that, that Three of Cups, there's again, whether or not it's an actual celebration that takes place, or just that you feel like celebrating, or that there's some small event or gathering that follows hearing about this job opening. For some of you, it's expanding a work opportunity. For others, it's just some kind of a gain in your favor. But I'm not seeing immediate financial gains in this month, or at least not in this first 2 weeks anyway. It really feels more like a long-term potential with the Queen of Pentacles that's following here. But because I see the Two of Pentacles coming up here, I feel like there's still some juggling going on, but I don't feel it's just on one front. I actually feel like the juggling is coming in on a few different angles here, because there's quite a few swords in this reading. So to me, it feels like it just feels like there is more of with the strategy and all of that coming through with all of those swords earlier, to me, and the clarity that needs to be, it feels like you're needing to have to make some kind of quick decision, but it also feels like there's a lot of communication about how things, it's like a back and forth kind of energy about maybe like a negotiation is what I'm getting at here. I feel that, again, many of you are juggling or negotiating this month, and it's more specific again to that, this is moving into that second week here, but I feel that you're going to have to make some kind of a quick decision here, and you need to get more clarity around how you're going to proceed with those, with the new ideas, which I suspect you're mulling over for many things here. I don't think it's any one area that is just being having to be quickly decided, because, and I feel that with the Eight of Swords here and the Seven of Swords, this is where there's the negotiation, where there's a lot of heavy energy around the negotiation. But because the Judgment is bringing through a new beginning here with the Seven of Pentacles, again, I just feel like you're mulling over a lot of things, or a lot of parts to the negotiate or the contract or whatever it is that need to be really weeded through. So, but again, with that Seven of Pentacles, there's also a feeling of some kind of a delay. I think you're having to make a hasty decision in committing to the project, but there might be some other kind of delay around it. So I think you're afraid to lose the opportunity here with the Eight of Swords that came out previously. Maybe you feel like you don't know enough to venture forward, or this is a difficult situation because you may not be sure that you can supply enough of something in time, or that there's a lot of work that's involved in bringing this up to a deadline, because it does feel like there's a deadline here. So with the King of Pentacles following that, could be an individual that you're dealing with. Again, maybe it's another entrepreneur, or this can represent as you as well. So either way, it just feels like some kind of a strategy that needs to be figured out and a quick decision made to bring about this victory. And I did pull quite a few clarifiers on some of this just so I had a better understanding of what was happening there. But the King of Wands also speaks to an impulsive person. So this may be, one and the same with one of the entrepreneurs, or it could be an additional person. But either way, it's an impulsive person, charismatic, talented, and it could also speak to just additional sources of income also coming through here. So maybe this is like a side job for some of you, or, an additional entrepreneurial thing that you're doing in addition to regular work. But either way, this is somebody who usually has a visionary idea, and this person's not really afraid to take a risk and jump right in there. But following that is the Six of Cups. So again, this is a repeat energy. It represents an old idea from the past that you've built on, or for others, you're dealing with someone from the past that you're trying to spark a connection with again. And again, with that King of Cups, it could also, which follows, could also be a Pisces involved here, but someone of a mature disposition, father figure. Others, it can be making peace with your past and forgiving somebody from the past. But it can represent someone who is quite calm, generally in control of a situation. Could also be you, or at the very least that, they're in control of their emotions. So again, in this final second week here, it looks like, and again, timelines are going to vary as well. You all have the free will to make your decisions about incoming energies, and which can move the timeline a little further out. You're not all going to make the decisions on the same date, but it does look like there's some kind of a conclusion or a decision that's being made in that second week. Because when we start out here, even though I feel residual energy from the other cards here, this is still in that second week. But in that second week, somewhere along the line here, there is some kind of a conclusion or a decision that's being made with the World card. So I feel like this is where I see the opportunity, being offered to you. And with that World card again, it might even revolve around more travel, but certainly it ends the cycle of energy that you were previously in. And now, once a decision with the Two of Swords is made, you'll get this opportunity. So again, there's some kind of a decision that needs to be made, and it does feel like it's got to be a swift decision, because again, it felt like so much communication, negotiation, a lot of swords. And again, it's also coming through with the Knight of Swords was in there as well. Repeat energy, Knight of Swords here again. So it does feel like it has to be a quick decision of some sort, or you feel like it has to be a quick decision. But either way, I feel with the Nine of Cups, it's a wish fulfillment card. So this is really a card where you're feeling that both parties or all that are involved here seem to be on board. It's a happy outcome. It's a satisfying end, and followed up with the Two of Cups. It just feels like a really good partnership, good business partnership, or great alliance, strong alliance. And again, however that speaks to you, business partnership, personal, romantic, entrepreneurial connection, does look to be a really stable connection here as well with the Emperor, and also with the Knight of Wands. So I just feel like, the arrangement's been finalized, by that second week, or, whether the paperwork's still to be drawn up or not, that's further out. But I do feel like there's been some kind of verbal confirmation anyway that things are ready to go ahead. And it does look like there's some healing coming in as well with the cups, with the King of Cups and so on. But we do have, and again, with that Two of Cups, as I said, I do feel like there's healing for some of you in that connection, and for others, and it's an enduring business idea that both parties are dedicated to. But again, we also have the Tower moment. Well, not again, but the Tower moment that's coming through here. But it's again with the King of Wands. So there is also the High Priestess energy that's coming in here as well. And that comes through twice. But it comes through with the Empress. So I feel this idea may have to be reassembled in some way with that Tower moment, or, changed. The foundation has to be changed so that, it can accommodate for the way in which it needs to be produced, or however that resonates again for you. But it feels like there is some strategy that needs to go into that Tower moment, right? There's some kind of a strategy that needs to reassemble the foundation, or the way it's being presented, or the way it's being produced, just so it can implement things in a timely manner. And I feel that that's what's being negotiated here with that back and forth energy. I do feel with the High Priestess, there's some wise decisions that are being made, and for others, there's a lot of emotions coming into play. More for those on a romantic front with the High Priestess and the Empress. Could also be a wise woman in business, or a brilliant idea that's really going to take off here with the follow-up card, which is the Eight of Wands. So again, it just feels like there's something really quickly, some quick decision that's being made, or a quick takeoff of this idea, this brilliant idea. But by the end of that week, you're feeling much more optimistic either way. And it really seems like it's quite a unique idea here, because you've got the High Priestess that came out twice. We also have the Sun card. Again, you're feeling much more optimistic by the end of that second week period. For those that were gaining a work opportunity, I feel that you may be worried about the amount of work or responsibility that's involved, in your front because of that Eight of Swords. But, or maybe you have to make a quick decision on the job opportunity, and maybe there was some issues around the distance that you have to travel. But, your cards for each scenario look to be incredibly good odds, with the outcome positive with the Sun, and following that, even better combination of cards with the Wheel of Fortune, and even better with the Ten of Pentacles, and even better with the Ten of Cups. So I feel that you're getting some real results with this decision. It's a happy fortuitous opportunity that's coming in here with that Wheel of Fortune. So, you're getting some real results with this decision that you've made, and it's both an exciting adventure for you and a lucrative offer over the long haul. So again, not much change in terms of your finances, at least for that first 2 weeks, but there is a victory card that says it all. You're about to embark on something that's going to both challenge you and bring you rewards further out here. I don't really see much again in the way of financial gains in the first 2 weeks, but there is a little bit of juggling going on there. And I feel that it's covering your emotions that you're juggling. It's covering your choices that you're juggling, responsibilities and finances that you're juggling in terms of options. And, it just feels like a lot of back and forth energy all around, but your decisions this month will impact the coming weeks significantly. So read the fine print. It might be a hasty decision that you have to make, but, albeit should be a smart one. Whatever timelines or challenges that operate with this scenario, you can always work that out later, but the fine print is still the law of the land. So just make sure that your enthusiasm doesn't allow you to miss any important details that may come up later. At the very least, you can question or further investigate things before a contract's fully drawn up. So if you know what's expected at the outset, you can always enlist help later. But either way, that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. Stay well, keep safe, and keep moving forward. And I will have the last portion of March career, money, finance for you shortly.